Hi everyone, welcome to my extension of the rollball tutorial from last week, or last time, and I'm just going to add some additional bouncy and jumping features to the ball, control them a little bit, then add an instructions screen. You can present some instructions before a patient starts your task, whatever that might be. So if we run the game, I elevated my ball a little, and you can notice when it hits the ground it just sticks there. I don't really like that, so we're going to make a new physics material and attach it to the ball. To do that, you just right click in your assets folder, go to create, physics material, bouncy, and you adjust dynamic friction to 0.3, static friction to 0.3, bounciness to 1, and bounce combined to maximum. And you click your sphere or player object, whichever you named it, and you click drag bouncy over to under sphere collider material, missing physics material, just drag it in there, and that's all you need. Now it's a little bouncier. Great. So you'll notice I have these pickup items here also elevated. So the next thing we're going to do is get the ball to be able to jump when we press down a certain key. Now, one handy way for adding buttons to a task, it's easier to keep track of. You go to Edit, Project Settings, Input, and here you can configure various buttons you expect to use, and you can give them either negative or positive. That's if there's some sort of axis or left or right or up and down, but you can give two sets of buttons to everything, normal and the alternate. So there already is one for jump, but we're just going to change its only button here from joystick button 3 to space for space bar. And then we'll open up our scripts. I already have mine open, so I'll just give you a minute to catch up. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a public float jump speed, kind of like how we have speed just below it, ball speed. And public variable is useful if you think you're going to be changing a lot while like editing or setting up your game. You might want to adjust a lot. You don't want to go back into your text editor and do that every time. So if you have as a public, you can edit it in your main window here. You see a jump speed over there on the side. So that's great. Now the next thing is to add, under our fixed update method, we're going to detect it pressing our jump button. So if input dot get button down is jump, so anything we've bound to jump, then what it'll do for the rigid body, add force, and that will be a vector 3 pushing in the direction of up, multiplied by 10, and then multiplied by jump speed. Okay, that's really all you need just to get it jumping. And set your jump speed variable. I just put it at 100 for now. Now you hit our space bar, your ball is jumping. But 100's a little bit high, so we're going to tone it down. And this is why it's kind of handy to have it as a public variable. You can just put 50. And then you go back in, and it's all nice and quickly changed. It's not too difficult to get that ball. Now there's a couple weird things about the ball's motion. One is that normally when things jump, you can't change how they're moving in the air. You're kind of stuck with whatever direction your jump velocity was sending you before. Another thing is you obviously can't jump as many times as you want. So we're going to go back to the editor and patch that up. Although I will mention one last thing, which is a little hard to notice, which is when you jump. If you're jumping while you're still moving up, it's adding the velocities really well. But if you're jumping while you're falling, there kind of really is no jump. It's overcoming its already downward force. So we're going to have a quick fix for that as well. So first thing we're going to do is well, we'll set up our variables for limiting the amount of jumps first. And what we're going to have is a public int max jumps. Max jump for setting the maximum number of times you want to jump before you have to touch the ground again. And then a private int, which will be jump count, which keeps track of how many times they have been jumping already. And oh, isn't that it? Oh no, I put it in. So what we're going to want to do for one of the other, just quickly fixing that issue we had where it's better to jump while already moving up rather than not. We can just add in here rigid body dot velocity equals the new vector 3, which will be rb velocity dot x 0 for the y value, because we're getting rid of any upward momentum, and then rigid body dot velocity dot z. This is just making it so it retains whatever those values already were, and that basically fixes that issue. And we're also going to want to add in that loop after it does a jump. We can do jump count plus plus, which is basically the same as doing jump count equals jump count plus 1. It's just a C# shortcut we have for this. And also up here in the loop, we don't want it to just jump whenever we want. We want also to be true that jump count is less than max jump. Alright, so we're going to just save that. Click on our sphere again, because you need to set a maximum number of jumps. This time we'll go with 3. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Now stopping jumping. And you'll notice, even though you hit the ground, you can't jump anymore. That's because we're not resetting jump count back to 0 yet. So what we're going to do for this is similar to what we did for detecting when the ball was colliding with the walls, which is adding tags and using compare tag. So we go to ground. You can add a tag by going to under tag and go to add tag. I already added it here. We just hit the plus and type in ground. And once you've done that, you just go back, click on tag, click on ground, and then down here we're going to make another method, because instead of on trigger, because these aren't pickups, which it doesn't matter if you collide with, we're going to have a slightly different one, which is on collision. Enter. That's collider other. And if the other dot game object dot compare tag is ground, then jump count is equal to 0 again. And I think there was one last thing to do. Oh, right. So you can't control your movement while you're in the air. And all you have to do to that is if jump count is equal to 0, not set to 0, you need two equal signs. That means they're on the ground. And when that's true, then we'll do this. Now, a problem with this, it's going to probably give me an error any second now, but we're going to have to initialize these variables. To 0. And you need a float in front of here. The reason why we do that is because if this loop doesn't go off, then these variables are undefined. So just get rid of the float on there and move it up there, and then you're good. So let's just test this out. An extra bracket in here somewhere. Oh, there. All right. So now we run, and we have our 1, 1, 2, 3. Can't move around, and it's hit the ground, and it is not jumping. 1 second.